AMP token Flexa and AMP crypto with Pantera Capital reaction. So they recently did an interview with Ampleforth, Flexa, and Transparent, and I just wanted to make this quick video to really run down what they talked about in that video. So here's the video. I have it in the description below. It is unlisted, so it's only through this link that you get to watch this entire interview. It's 41 minutes, and it's really worth every single minute of your time to really absorb what they're trying to do right now. Not only Flexa, but also Ampleforth and Transparent. If you guys don't know already, Pantera Capital is one of the earliest and biggest, largest venture capitalist firms in cryptocurrencies. So them making the interview just adds on that layer of verifiability, credibility to all the interviewees in this interview. And before we get on with this video, gotta give a shout out to my man Woon here for introducing me to that video, because it was a really good watch and it was unlisted, so I wouldn't have been able to find it without him linking to that video. And if you haven't joined our Discord server yet, then what are you waiting for? Because remember, your network is your net worth, so make sure to get into a good network. So let's talk about AMP money and payments. So they asked the CEO Tyler Spalding some questions of really where he came from, because we want to know where the team members came from. And when the CEO has started 4 companies before and has been an entrepreneur for 25 years and has been in crypto since 2011, you know that he has some experience to really back his talk. And they really focused on Flexa being highly merchant focused. So it's focused on serving a problem that is existing for merchants. It is a pure digital payment network. That means that there are no physical or payment cards. It's just on your phone doing a digital transaction. The thing that they're talking about is that Flexa integrates with all the existing hardware and software a merchant already has. The merchant does not need to make any upgrades or even understand cryptos to make things happen. They just need to know that this is just another form of payment now, which is great because they made the learning curve really low. They don't need to go through a high learning curve of understanding what crypto is and how it works. They just use the current systems that they have and accept another form of payment. As we've been talking about in my previous AMP videos, if you haven't checked them out, check them out. Flexa provide fraud-free payments. That is, there are no chargebacks for the merchant, and it's faster and cheaper than any payment method that has existed or still exists right now. So for the merchant, this is really a no-brainer because it's another avenue of accepting payments that customers are now starting to learn about and want to use. Now their SDK is apparently going to be launching next month that allow any wallet or system to integrate with Flexa. So really, the consumer like you and I who are paying with cryptocurrencies, which we'll never do because you don't want to pay with Bitcoin. But say if we do, we don't need to download any new software or application. We can just use whatever wallet we already have. And if it is integrated with Flexa, then we could play with Flexa. The SDK is permissionless. So that means that any app can integrate with Flexa. And here's the cool thing. The SDK at launch will have both in-store and online capabilities. So it can be used in real life and online. Now, if you haven't watched my AMP token videos, watch my AMP token videos. I think I'm gonna make a playlist just to let you guys watch all the AMP videos that I made. But anyways, quick rundown on what we talked about before. The only function of the AMP token is to act as collateral behind the scenes. The buyer and the merchant can have no idea on how everything works. A fee is charged to the merchant for using the Flexa network, and that fee is used to repurchase tokens on the open market. And remember, this is a fixed supply token, which is then redistributed to the stakeholders or stakers. Flexa is made for the people, and because of this, it is a very novel idea. And here's what I love about it. Tyler Spalding said in the interview that Flexa itself will never make any money. All the value of the Flexa network is accrued in the AMP token. So the clockwork goes that as more and more merchants hop onto the Flexa network, then the value of the network, its holders, and its stakers all go up. And imagine if fiat completely fails and people turn to using cryptocurrencies as the primary method of payment. I mean, imagine how much money is processed right now using Visa, MasterCard, and American Express on a yearly basis. What if that fails? Because it's based on fiat. Let me tell you, the Visa transactional volume in 2020 was $1.96 trillion. MasterCard transaction volume in 2020, $605 billion. AMEX transaction volume in 2019, $828 billion. And Discover transaction volume in 2019, $151 billion. And remember, AMP is a collateral token. It decentralizes all the risk in transactions. All right, guys, quick pause. There's 2 things you have to do if you haven't already done so. 1, find a network. If you don't have a network, then your net worth is gonna stay where it is because your network is your net worth. And if you need to find one, then join our Discord server because what we're doing there is we're discussing cryptos, different outs that we're looking at, different prices that we want to enter, and we're helping each other as a support group on passing the scary times in the market because scary times do happen and a support group would really help you to really hold your coins instead of selling them low, because you don't want to sell low. You want to buy low and sell high. That's what you want to do. Second thing you want to do is, if you don't already have a Webull account, get a Webull account and deposit $100, because doing that will give you $100. No, it doesn't give you $100. It gives you 2 free stocks. Even better, because you can then sell those 2 free stocks to get some money in order to buy the cryptos, Bitcoin, Ethereum that you're interested in. So if you haven't already done so, then check out the description below, because I have the links below to join our Discord server to get those 2 free stocks. So do that now. Something else that they covered on the interview was foreign exchange on Flexa. Just like any other transaction, the merchant can accept and is allowed to accept whatever currency they want. So if they want Bitcoin or any other assets, that can be done. US dollar? Okay. Flexa does not maintain liquidity. It is not an exchange, but they work with providers. They're already licensed and compliant with wherever they're doing business and the merchants that they work with. And here's how it really works. When Flexa receives an asset, they sell it on an applicable digital exchange. They don't have to go through foreign exchanges. So this will completely kill our need to exchange money when we're traveling, which is very, very handy. So if someone spends, let's say, USDC in Canada, the magic of Flexa would translate that. For example, from USDC to Bitcoin, and then from Bitcoin to CAD. And they do this through various exchanges, because there's probably no pair that goes USDC to CAD. Then the merchant will receive Canadian dollars in real time. So let's go back to talking about Visa, MasterCard, and AMEX fees versus Flexa. Now, they said that Flexa's fees, the small fee that they collect from merchants for using the Flexa network, is going to be lower than the interchange fees, the fees of the credit card. Remember, like I said earlier, Visa was processing $1.96 trillion in 2020, MasterCard $605 billion in 2020, Amex $828 billion, and Discover at $151 billion, both in 2019. Now, Visa and credit cards will probably still hold their ground, because cryptocurrencies are still in the process of being adopted. But once cryptos are adopted and they're readily available via spend, Visa, MasterCard, Amex, and all the other credit cards will have to come up with new benefits for cardholders, because fees will be much lower for both consumers and merchants. I mean, if we take a quick look at the average credit card processing fees, it goes from 1.3% to 3.5%. I think the 3.5 must be American Express, because American Express is expensive. And you can see that the average credit card processing fees over here from 1.29 all the way to 3.45. So the merchants are paying a nickel and a dime. It's not a nickel and a dime. It's a arm and a leg at this point. So using Flexa, lower fees, that is going to be a godsend for them. So here's my opinion of it. Pantera Capital had mentioned in their interview that they're huge fans of AMP token and Flexa. Alex Flavler, the CEO of Transparent, said it correctly. With all the options that are available for governments and companies to build on top of cryptocurrencies, what we can be more sure of is that digital currencies will be used for payments, because that's the utility of a currency, right? So if you go to a coffee shop and the merchant is already integrated with Flexa, where is the value of that digital currency spent? Regardless of what it is, where is that value going to be locked into? Flexa network? That's right. Currently imagine something like the following. You know, when you go to a store, if you have a membership, then you probably pay like half price of X, which is the price. So if you pay with a credit card, the price is going to be X. If you pay with membership, it's going to be half of that. If you pay with Flexa Network, with all the fees completely taken off, maybe it's going to be a quarter of the original price. That might not happen like said so, but a discount like that might happen. And it's just because of the merchant fees, because think about it. If merchant fees are lower on Flexa, then that cost saving can be passed down to the consumer, which will make them think, hey, purchasing with cryptos is really saving me money. Let's go buy some more cryptos so I can purchase with more cryptos. And there it goes, more adoption. And as they're seeing their cryptos rise in price, they'll think something like, hey, my assets are appreciating, unlike the dollar, which is already depreciating in value and continuing down that route. Hey, let's go buy more cryptos. There it goes, more adoption. Here's the thing about the Flexa network. As Tyler says, it will never profit and it will never make a profit. Yet, your profits are secured in the network. Only when you take it out or withdraw it will you pay tax, probably. That being said, I'm wondering if Flexa is a non-profit organization, if it isn't already. But the model that is underneath the hood, Flexa is worth billions and it's just getting started. Alright, let's talk about my speculations. Now, I'm gonna get into the topic of infinite banking, where you become your own bank. As far as I know, there are two ways. One, you use Bitcoin or Ethereum with BlockFi. As long as your BTC or ETH appreciates and your interest rate is lower, you're golden, right? And I'm bullish for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that sounds like a solid plan to me. The second way to do this is using a permanent life insurance policy. If you don't already have one, you should really consider one, because it has something called a cash value account. That means with every premium you pay, a little part of that premium gets put into this cash value account and it is invested. So when you're all ready to retire, that cash value account might already be more than $1 million. and you can just borrow against that account. That is how the rich avoid taxes. And you borrow against it, which means you take a loan, and you cannot tax loan. You can only tax income, and getting a loan from your cash value account is a non-taxable event. If you want to learn more, then check my insurance playlist, or if you want to get a policy, then please be sure to email me at support@corsac.club, because yours truly is a licensed life insurance agent. Alright, so now the third way is for Flexa. Since it has all its value centered and accrued in the AMP token, and because it is the building block of transactions on the Flexa network, that will give the network inherent value. That is, its foundation. It's similar to having your house as collateral. It has inherent value. And how BTC is like digital gold 2.0. It has inherent value. And with that value, you could probably use the AMP token as collateral. And that's the next place where I think the Flexa team might take it. Because if you want to make your stakers, your collateral providers happy, how do you do that? Give them more ways to make money. And that's by giving them a chance to leverage their AMP that they own and borrow against it. However, that is just all my logic and speculation. I am not part of the Flexa team, but Flexa team, if you are listening, maybe that is something to consider on your roadmap. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. If you want to check out the interview, then check out the link below in the description. If you want to join our Discord server, then check out the link in the description. Other than that, if you've enjoyed this review on the interview of AMP token and AMP Flexa network, then please be sure to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, check out these other videos on cryptocurrencies and passive income, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.